Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first episode of Discussions with Daz. I am Dazerin, of course. Joining with me today is none other than Michael Achieves Williams, well-renowned caster across the scene, has played, casted literally everywhere, and now announced as today, DreamHack lip sync expert. We're putting expert in quotation because
expert.
But it's essentially analyst does, no?
Yeah. I will be doing desk work at DreamHack Leipzig.
Yeah, so that's good on you. I've known Achieves for a little while, a little over a year now. First time we met was in Wisconsin for a Mad City Midwest land, but we'll talk more about that later. First off, for some people who are seeing Achieves for the very first time, Achieves, just kind of give us a little bit of background about yourself, my dude.
All right. So I am, of course, Michael Williams. I go by the handle Achieves. I cast Carball for a bunch of different places. I like to play guitar. On my back wall there. Been playing for like 12 years. And, I am sarcasm and drama with maybe some original content mixed in.
Just a little bit.
Maybe.
Oh, man.
Sarcasm and references, and that's about all you.
Personally, I feel Achieves is selling himself crazy short in that nice bio that he has created. In general, I feel like one of the best analysts in Rocket League. Now moving over, switching into the more play-by-play-ish role in the more recent events you've been casting, but this time actually on a desk role. Last time there have been two kind of major broadcasts where you've had a desk role, and that's been X Games, and it was also, you guys kind of did some swapping at E-League, and then you did some kind of casting and desk work at CRL. So with all of those, what's really like your most comfortable area?
I feel personally that I much more prefer, well, I don't know if I prefer. I think I do really well on the desk because I place a lot of emphasis on running a lot of numbers, and it's easy to talk about numbers, which is why it's like I can just sit here and look really smart holding a pen and wear a pair of glasses and be like, yes, these numbers, these are why these people are good. So it's I like desk work because it makes it really easy for me to validate my opinions about teams with numbers. But I like casting. Casting is a lot of fun. I love doing it. I just feel like my desk work is better than my casting.
Yeah, and just judging by, I remember there was one post you had made around the time of X Games where you had like almost handwritten like all of the stats and had them on individual sheets of paper. And yes. I looked at it, I was just like,
Atlanta, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And X Games. They were both.
Yeah.
That was like the first time that I really did all that stuff, and I remember that image. It's just like 9 pieces of paper spread out across this desk.
And I was just like, this guy's nuts. This guy's nuts. You put in a ton of work, more work than you're willing to admit, of course, and then more work than I've seen from other commentators that can now kind of like in that position. And yes, I probably am just like talking you up a storm, but that's because I love you.
Stop.
So we're gonna ask the obvious here. What prompted the name Achieves?
Jeez. Okay, so for those of you hoping it's a really interesting story, prepare to be massively disappointed. I was 12 years old playing a game called Warrock, which is like this sort of first-person... it's kind of like a poor man's version of Battlefield, if that makes sense. But anyway, my original name was Mike Willia. So, that people are like, you can't have your real name as your screen name. So I went to Google, I typed in list of inspirational words. Achieves was the first one. I said, done! And that's been my name ever since.
It's better.
Basically, my name is random number generated.
It's better than mine because mine's is World of Warcraft name generated. I was like looking for like names. I kept just like hitting random, and then I found another word and I swapped it out and put a D in front of it, and I was like, There we go. This is me.
Soul. I mean, names are such an interesting thing. It's like the best name that I've ever heard. Like the story behind it is definitely Findable Carpets. Because oh my goodness, that is it. Have you heard Findable Carpet's
I have
name
not
story?
actually.
Okay,
No.
so Findable Carpet. His name, he wanted back on Xbox Live. His original gamer tag that he wanted it to be was Dr. Pepperman, and Dr. Pepperman was not available. And one of the suggested names that popped up was Findable Carpet.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Wow.
And it's amazing how well it fits.
Yeah. It's like boom, right there. So I mean that's yeah. Name origin stories are something definitely. So
Out of all the things you could get on Xbox Live, Findable Carpet. Yeah, I like that.
I like that one. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that
That'll
one.
be good. That'll be good.
I'm gonna keep that one. So like what first off prompted you to start casting, and then what's kind of like what do you love most about it?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I started casting mostly because I turned 21 years old 2 years ago now, I guess. And before then, I've been a gamer like my entire life, and I've always wanted to be a professional player. Before then, I was like, I don't want to be one of those esport commentator nerds. I want to be the guy on stage hitting really cool shots. And then I turned 21, and I was like, look, man, you're just not good enough. You never will be. And so I kind of thought about it. I used my voice for like 12 years now. I've went to college for music education, where I learned a lot about vocal proper use of your voice and how to project and all that stuff. So I've been like classically trained, and I said, look, I know how to use my voice. I like carball. Let's go talk about carball. And so that's what I did. I just kind of woke up one morning and says, I'm gonna try casting, and then I did solo ESLs, and the rest was history.
Yeah, yeah. I can resonate with that a little bit. I mean, I feel like most of us who are involved in esports at some point wanted to like get that grind where they're like, man, I can really do it. Even me to some extent, because I still rage at this game that I cast. So
Everyone does.
I definitely can understand that sentiment. And yeah, like the places that casting has taken you. Again, just being able to like use your voice to kind of set the scene and really like put the audience in the game at a sense is just a magnificent thing, and you do it so well. And like I said, I've known you for over a year and a half, and I've been able to watch that progression, going all the way to like I said, from the start, just watching the Rocket Royales and watching the Gfinity streams, casting with you in the Gfinity streams up to now, where you know we see you at E League and you're as Jorby says, you're gassing up the plays. You're just you're screaming out of your mind, and we're like, where did this come from? And
Gas is a rare thing.
it is.
It's hard for me to bring the gas because I particularly don't think I'm very good at at gassing up the plays. I think other people are far more suited to that than I am. Which, I mean, that kind of might explain it's like why I see myself as a far more effective analyst than I do a commentator. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just when we saw that happen, it was something completely unexpected from everyone. So when we all hear it, it was just like, whoa, hold on, rewind, clip that, because that doesn't happen every day. We need well, people will want more of it, but I think the fact that it's so rare makes that moment always magical. Holy points.
Yes,
oh, man.
holy points. I agree.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, the first time we really noticed, the first time we really noticed a change was CRL when you were hosting with Corelli. And I don't know, it was the way you projected your voice sounded so much more just different than what we're normally used to hearing from you. And then, we're all grouped up, watching together, and people are like, man, Jeeves is killing it right now, literally. And everyone's like, yeah, yeah, we all agree. Have you ever noticed that yourself? And
Uh, I, uh, I'm. That's an interesting question. I don't really notice like change in my style necessarily. I'm sure like if I went back and watched a VOD of what I did, 2 years ago, like I can tell the difference between when I started and
yeah,
now. But I mean, like CRL was a little bit different. The only thing that I feel has really changed the most throughout all of my broadcast is one, obviously game knowledge, because now you've got an extra 2 years of experience behind it, and two, pacing. Pacing is something that I definitely struggled with a lot back when I really started, and I think that's the biggest thing that I would notice a difference in. Other than that, I don't know. I think mostly just pacing and experience.
okay. Yeah,
So I don't think I would notice huge differences. I don't think.
yeah. I mean, the times I've most noticed VOD review usually seem. I mean, the time I most notice a change usually seems to be VOD review, because that's when you can be like, you watch one stream from 6 months ago, like, oh man, I did this poorly, and then you look at a stream, or broadcast from 3 months ago, and you're like, I fixed those mistakes. Like,
Yeah.
half the time you don't even know it, but when you realize it, you're like, wow, like the kind of work that you're like subconsciously putting in is actually starting to pay off.
Hmm.
So
That's really the big part of it, because they always say there's no harsher critic than yourself, and if you're not, it's like I'll be honest, I don't do a lot of odd review. I'll go watch maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes of a broadcast that I've done, and I'll sort of just pick one thing that I didn't particularly like, and then I'll stop. Like I won't watch the entire broadcast, because I'm not gonna go watch 6 hours of me casting. I'm gonna go like on autopilot, and it's not gonna help me. So it's kind of, I just sort of watch like small segment, like pick something, like watch a desk segment and be like, okay, what did you do on the desk here? And be like, okay, I didn't like that, and I did like that. Bam. After you've done that, you've got it in your head, and you will automatically fix it because you'll know. So it's like I just like to pick one little thing from each broadcast.
yeah, I agree with you. It's kind of like how I do my VOD review. I watch a VOD. I don't even get to 20 minutes. I get to 5 minutes, and then I say, I did that really bad. Okay, notes. All right, we know what we're doing. We know what we're working on, guys. So, again, kind of like looking back, 2017 was really just a blow up year for you in terms of just so many major broadcasts that you did. Which one was your favorite and why?
Ooh. Let's see. I got to think about what all I've done. I've done DreamHack Atlanta. I've done X Games. I've done CRL. I've done Rival Series. I've done and E League. I think that's it.
Yep.
The favorite one. I think there's something really specific that I like about all of those things in particular. Each of those events, there was one thing that I absolutely loved about it. Like Rival Series, like it was so fun because it wasn't out of a hotel like and a studio. Like we did it out of somebody's house. It's like it's pretty obvious that's what happened, and it's like it was so fun. It was like a reality TV show. We're all just like hanging out in his house and being a kind of a little bit of a bromance developed over there with Jorby, of course, which was a lot of fun. X Games was really fun, getting to go out and present something to a bit more of a audience that isn't necessarily associated with video games very well. It was really hot in that tent, but the event was really fun. That was the first time Faceit got involved. DreamHack Atlanta, absolutely. It was just a crazy event. That was like my first really big like live event, so that I remember that like really vividly. E League was the first really big like full scale professional production, and that was a same experience. And CRL was, I mean, you get handed a lot of things on one plate and try and do a good job with it. Corelli was a big help in keeping me in line and getting all that running smoothly. So I really appreciate a lot of different things, but I think the favorite one, it's got to be E League. There's no other choice in terms of what it would be. Just because being a part of something that's like that this is TV esports.
Right.
That was really really cool.
Yeah. And then talent lineup was insane for that too.
Yeah.
It was you, I think Carpet, Wave, Lawler, and then on top of that, Richard Lewis and Golden Boy.
Yes.
So
Getting to meet Golden Boy was really cool too. He's
yeah.
a cool guy.
So I mean, just being so let's kind of like discuss that a little bit. I know, you've had, like we've said, you've had a major broadcast before, but what really sets the E League broadcast apart?
Just the raw amount of work that went into E League, not just from a talent perspective, but from everything. Like the production crew, they had like 20 people like running around, running a bunch of stuff, doing interviews, asking us for input. E League was it was the first thing that showed me like this is what it takes to really be top level production, just because it was this immense amount of work. Like every day we had meetings beforehand, be like, all right, what are we going to talk about today, here's what we're going to do. And it was just the structure of it. I was like, this is what really big broadcasts are and how they work. And it was just a really eye-opening experience, because before that it had kind of been show up on the day, you've done your prep work, talk about Rocket League. At there, it was prep work, show up on the day, prep again, just so everybody's on the same page, make sure we can do all of this, fit it into one beautiful 45-minute package, and then ship it off. And then just move on to the next thing. You don't even have time to think. It's like, all right, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. You're done, keep going. Done, keep going. Done, keep going. And it just never stopped. It was really cool to see all the hard work from a lot of different people go into something like that.
Nice. Sounds like it was a very kind of like eye-opening experience, to say the least.
Definitely was.
And now you come back. Well, no, you don't even come back, and you get a little break in between E League, and then now in a couple weeks, you'll be flying out to Germany for Leipzig.
Mm-hmm.
Excited?
Oh yeah, I've always wanted to go to Germany. My family is originally of German descent, so we kind of have a few little like German sayings around my household every now and again, which is a lot of fun. So I took German in college for a semester. So I've always wanted to go to Germany. I enjoy the culture, so I'm really excited to have the chance to experience it, to say the least. And of course, I mean, Rocket League's there too.
Yeah, just Carball.
Just whatever. Carball's there, it's the excuse to go,
Yeah, no problem. So we'll talk more about DreamHack Leipzig later. We'll bring a couple of other guests on to discuss the rosters that just got announced. I know everyone's kind of buzzing about it right now. We want to kind of take a step back to America, at least, and kind of like talk about some more tournaments that are going on currently and that are kind of like also around in the area. So right now, yesterday we had the Axel Tosses team, the North American qualifier number 1 for team with Axel Toss. He was casting with Gibbs. There were actually a lot of surprises coming out of that tournament. Equinox making grand finals with Jacob on their roster. The roster of Splice debuted in their first tournament. And then I think who ended up winning? Then Cloud9, of course, qualifying.
Yeah, Cloud9 ended up winning because,
Cloud9.
Duh. Duh. Move on.
Right. So just overall thoughts on Tink at the moment.
I think Ting is a really good idea from Axel Toss. Sure, it's not like super different than other like community tournaments and stuff, except what are you doing? Trying to pay everybody that's involved with it, and I think, I think that's a good idea. You're asking people to put in the time and effort into an event that he wants to be successful, and it's nice that he's trying to make a financial push for investing. For repaying those people for their time and effort into that. So I think it's a really cool idea. I think he's got a lot of good work already put into it. Like the graphics for that, if you saw it, were really cool. Those were done by Rajus. He's the guy who made the Shift stuff.
Oh,
So
wow, those
he's
were nice.
definitely putting a lot of effort into making it the best thing that it can be, and I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, good slogan for the community, by the community, and just from like knowing some of the people who are involved behind the scenes, that definitely seems like it's represented here. So good on Axel Toss. Looks like it's a fun tournament as well.
Yeah, for
Teams
sure.
definitely getting some practice in before going to Germany for DreamHack. So there'll be more. I think we have 3 more team qualifiers, and then their grand finals will be on February 3rd. Also happening February 3rd is going to be another Mad City Rocket League
Ooh,
2v2
yes.
showcase, and it's going to be in Chicago.
Find it. I
Um,
had that open somewhere.
so, like I
Spam the
said,
link in chat.
right? Oh yeah, I need to do that. Holy, I got to get on my talkback streamer link
Got it.
things.
Dunzo. There it is.
You're a god.
I should be timed out from Nightbot.
Right. So just speak to me. Well, speak to me. Um, Speaking of Mad City, we already discussed earlier. Achieves and I first time actually meeting in person was at the first Midwest LAN that was hosted by Mad City in Wisconsin. Also, first time meeting Lawler and Leaf,
Yeah.
and getting a chance to commentate with them. Achieves. Have you casted in a Mad City LAN yet?
I have not. The only one that I've been to was that first one that you were talking about, and I did the cameras for that one.
Yeah, you did observing. We got to change that, but we're working on changing that soon because that would be absolutely amazing. But give me your experience with Mad City and what they do.
So Mad City was really that was the first community land that I went to that felt a little less off the kilt, because the other one I'd done before Mad City was the TXRL one, and that was like the first community land that anyone has ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And that first one at TXRL was a lot of fun. A little bit, pulling it along on a rope as it's like struggling to keep going, but it was a lot of fun to really get in there, and it was nice to have a bit more leeway and see the potential for what a real community land could really look like. Excuse me. And Mad City, Eric Boyer, who did almost all of the graphics and all the organization for that, along with Deepants and Hanzo. He put in a ton of work to try and make it as easy as possible, and I think that first Mad City event was it's definitely been one of my favorite Rocket League experiences to date, because it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, like it really was a ton of fun. Good lord! I remember after the broadcast, we went out to that bar down the road, and
Yes.
I went drinking with Leaf for the first time, and I was like, you know what you're doing. Oh
That
my
was
god!
something, to say the least.
Oh yeah, it was. And then of course, being able to meet everyone that we talked to online for the first time is just it's such
really
a good
great.
experience as well. And that's what kind of got me the LAN hype to where I want to go out to like every LAN possible.
Yeah.
Which is always good. But yeah, so they're gonna be hosting another 2v2 one in Chicago. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Here's the Reddit post, guys. And again, 2v2 showcase February 3rd. It will be casted by myself. And then I believe we have a couple of other casters unannounced yet, but for
No
sure,
spoilers.
right? No spoilerinos, but for sure, looking to be a good one. And then this event also serves as to a lead up to the Chicago RL Open 3v3 event that will be on the weekend of March 10th and 11th. So big. This is a big like local event for Chicago and for Mad City, but it's also leading into an even larger event coming up soon in March that everyone's gonna want to check out. So again, 2v2, $30 participant, paid through PayPal, and then I think they're doing the same. You have 3 single round robin group phase to a single elimination bracket. So a big tournament. Will be casted on madcity.gg. Be sure to check it out. Post it's up on Reddit, and I believe Achieves has linked it in the chat. So
I'll post it again.
hey,
Bam.
boom.
If you're in the Midwest, though, definitely go. That Midwest Chicago event was a huge, 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 huge. Yes,
Yes.
huge.
Very, very.
It was just a lot of fun. There's a lot of really cool people that went out to that, and a lot of cool people that continue to go out to that. So it's definitely worth going. If you've never been to a Rocket League LAN and you're close to it, go. It's fun to just meet people and hang out and talk and play about Rocket League.
Absolutely. Highly recommend it. I mean, of course, I'll be there, so you guys can say hi to me. And then...
There alone is your price of admission. Meeting Daz.
$30 and I'll sign your outfit. No, you can just show up and I'll sign your outfit. I don't care.
Oh my god.
That's the sign-up fee. It's the sign-up fee.
Oh,
but
okay.
but
I thought you were saying $30 for admission and walk up to me and give me $30. Like, what a guy.
Oh Lord. Oh no. Never. My ego will never let me get that big. Yeah, but again, guys, love local lands. They really help the competitive scene kind of grow, because when you have something kind of like local around your area, it brings in more players. You guys get to talking. You guys can connect, and then you get to see people come from all kind of corners of the competitive community, and when put together, it's such a great setting. So.
Yeah, community lands, it's big because let's be honest, they don't hold as much sway as things like DreamHack or X Games or stuff like that, but that's not the point of community lands. It's like community lands is literally just getting everyone together who like, it's like old school Smash is what community is like. Everyone goes to they like drive however long they have to go to these events just to have a good time and play the game they love. And it's absolutely amazing to see that happen.
Yeah, for sure. So we're gonna move on to kind of talk a little bit more. Ooh, voice crack. A little bit more about DreamHack Leipzig. So in terms of like big major events like this, what do you think these types of tournaments really bring for like competitive Rocket League?
Well, in terms of big major events that aren't like RLCS like flagship stuff, I think these are just it's big events to get a larger part of the Rocket League audience to come out and watch. It's just a big off-season event that a lot of people are going to be really interested in, and it is really, really cool. I mean, it keeps the players happy, it keeps all the viewers happy. It's a great off-season idea and a great opportunity for a lot more Rocket League to be done, because the more events you are capable of doing, and the more events that have a lot of pull like DreamHack does, there's no reason not to do them, like unless you can't afford it or something. But it's just a lot of fun for everybody, because everybody wants to. A lot of people go to these DreamHack events. Like DreamHack Atlanta was super stacked. Like, there was a ton of sick teams. It was so competitive. And you're gonna get the same thing here at Leipzig. You got me saying it Leipzig now, and it's Leipzig, but whatever.
It's Leipzig. German
pronunciation rules. EI, you pronounce the second letter. IE, you pronounce the second letter.
You know,
So
before we started the stream,
it's Y, and if it's LIE, it's Lee.
Before we started the stream, I asked Claudio, I'm like, is it like Leipzig or Leipzig? And he says Lespig.
Lespig, yes, Lespig. Lizpeg. DreamHack Lizpeg.
I'm like, that's not what it's supposed to be, Cloud. I'm like, oh, good God. So clearly, big major tournament, going to bring out a lot of different competitors. Not as serious as RLCS, but almost at that level. So we see kind of teams signing up that have kind of like weird-esque rosters, and that's also kind of another thing I want to speak about in terms of like roster talks and rumors and stuff like that.
Well, let's pull them all up. Let's see here.
Okay.
DreamHack Leipzig. Attendees. Teams. All right, see, we're there. Qualifiers are on 13th January and 14th January for both.
EUs and NAs on the same day, but we still have teams signed up at the very bottom that will actually be playing at the event for sure. So again, teams like Copenhagen Flames, Juicy Kids running with Jazer, Envy with Greasy Devo, Rimco, and Mount Rogue running Sis Moses and Insolences, and then Ghost picking up Matt to run with Lethemir and Zane Jackie. So interesting change of rosters there. You look at FlyQuest. running with Tuster instead of their third that was announced when the team got announced, AJ. AJ must not have been able to make it. And Cloudfield has just given me a much better link.
Oh.
A cleaner, a more sorted link.
Oh.
On Rocket League Esports.
Oh, yeah. Rocket League Esports definitely... for those of you who don't know what Rocket League Esports is, it's the alternative subreddit. Because if you go to /r/Rocket League, you're going to see a ton of really cool shots and saves and awesome GIFs. And Rocket League Esports says, get all that stuff out of here, and let's talk esports. And that's all it is.
That's beautiful. That's the best explanation of the subreddit I've ever heard. For sure. Notable roster changes like NRG running with Torment instead of Fireburner. Torment instead of Fireburner. Torment with Fireburner and Garrett G.
Yeah, recently... Torment is going, I believe, because Cloud9 can't go. Right. And Torment wants to go. And with NRG leaving, they said, Torment, come play with us. So I think that'll be really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. Pretty interesting roster changes. There are going to be more roster changes. But we kind of want to stay on track before I bring in my roster experts, analysts, Cloudfield and Jorby.
There we go. Experts, yes.
We're gonna have
Jorby experts.
We're gonna have them on a little bit later, but
what time, Daz?
Oh man, maybe in like 10 minutes.
Cool.
Nice. Achieves this part of the season, the whole roster swap season. You think tournaments like this are like very like would you say they would be like beneficial for these big teams to really be able to like try out their new rosters in terms of like an actual really like how do I want to say it? I don't want to say like overly sweaty tournament, but you know what I mean, in terms of like a highly competitive tournament versus testing it out on like weekly events or so on and so forth.
Yeah, totally. Let's be honest, the professional players of Rocket League, there's not really a lot of incentive for them to play weekly tournaments anymore. Just because, it's the prize pools, $100, $150. It's like they could be doing better things for their time than trying to win that tournament that they would just stomp over all the competition for. Mm-hmm. They would much prefer to go and play events like DreamHack, like X Games, like E-League, stuff like that. Of course, maybe not all of them trying out new rosters, but I think off-season events like DreamHack and X Games are definitely the place to really put them into a tough competitive environment where there's a lot of stakes, because you know that they're going to be trying their best and they're not going to be, just messing around playing Rocket League. They're going to be, we need to win this. We have to work as a team. This is going to really test what we're capable of. And I think it's a great opportunity for teams that are in the middle of roster shuffles.
Yeah. And we'll see more of that here at the event. And these events, so many good things come from them. You want to talk about DreamHack Atlanta, last major DreamHack event. The Ambition roster was a huge thing when they made it to top 8. The Renegades roster at the time, which was Dude with the Nose, Moses, and I forget who, Hot Wheel Sid.
Yeah.
And Dude with the Nose played phenomenally and landed him a spot as the NRG sub. Mm-hmm. So now you get to play with NRG, and you potentially boost your like the
# brand building.
Yes, you get to boost your brand, but at the same time, you get to play with players who are playing at the highest competitive level, and that helps you boost your individual skill. So that now, like, Dude with the Nose goes from a player who's playing in weeklies, grinding weeklies, to performing well at a major tournament. It gives him now the ability to be rank S in 6-mans. He plays with these guys all the time. It helps boost his individual skill, and now he's a highly valued player in a sense. You saw how well he did with Karma and Safu when they played in team. They took it to G2. And, of course, if you just look at the numbers, yes, they got too old. But they lost both games in overtime. And I did talk to them after they were done. And, members of that roster agreed they could have won that game. and this is against G2, who have won the last major event, which was E-League.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're not gonna have this like conversation where, oh my goodness, like G2 beat Gale Force in E-League, they're like the best team in the world right now.
Oh God.
And so like,
yes, please don't go down that road.
right? So like, so now that Splice have done well against G2, they're like,
Splice best team.
Right, but it's not really that type of case. But you have to like look at these players and still see what they are able to do against a team that has been improving, like G2. That being in that close game, G2, I think they fell to the new Equinox roster, which is going to be another top roster, who's also going to, oh God, Leipzig. I said it right.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Who's also going to Leipzig. Corrupted G, Crumb, and Jacob. And the roster swap mania is happening, and this is going to be one of those tournaments where afterwards we're going to expect a major shift in players. Like, this is a big shift right now, and people are already scrambling to keep up, but there's definitely going to be another shift after this depending on the results. There are already, if I could just name like top team 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 I guess 18 19
23 European teams.
23 European teams.
But 23 like solid European teams who are going to be there. And how many teams from NA? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 15. So 15 plus 23. Caster math is hard. That's 38, yeah.
Right. And
you've already got 38 solid teams. Like, sure, there's a couple teams that are obviously better, but, I mean, there's going to be some crazy good teams.
Yeah, for sure. And all these guys
and
all stacked.
That's only teams that have, like, either roster swaps or are top, sort of like, the top players in weekly tournaments. It's like, that doesn't even count teams that haven't had roster swaps. People like Gale Force, Method, G2, and PSG, and stuff like that.
Yep. And
it's nuts.
It is. It's nuts. It's stacked. And the thing about it is that I feel like there are even more. Yeah, there definitely more like top tier teams in this one than there were in Atlanta. And what's going to end up happening is, like, again, there's only one first place. You know. There's only one first place at the end of the day. People are going to be upset. There's going to be like the round robin phase, but I wish I could go, because just knowing how things were from Atlanta, you only really saw not even half, but kind of like 1/3 of the story when you watch like the qualifier streams, or when you kind of like watch the round robin streamed matches, I should say. Like,
it's just because every game can't be on stream, so you miss.
Right, exactly.
You are. Yeah. That's the unfortunate thing. You know you're going to miss some awesome series, and it happens. There's no way around it, unfortunately.
Exactly, and that would be like a main reason why I would want to go, just to kind of see what's going on, like in the area that they're going to play in, because you're going to have these guys versus these guys. There's going to be a crowd of people standing behind this team when they play X team playing Y team, and then someone's gonna get mad and throw their controller, and all sorts of things. There was a player at Atlanta who got knocked out. I think in group stage, they were a good team. They got knocked out. He threw his controller. I saw it, and then I saw so many players rage, walk out. Like it's happened.
Daz wants to live for the Rocket League live drama.
Lives for the drama. I eat the drama. Yes. Oh man, there's so much drama. Hello, do we have drama alert in chat?
Up all these PCs, chomping popcorn. Like, yes, throw more.
I am the drama alert Twitter account, guys. Got him.
Confirmed. That's what the D stands for in RL drama alert stands for Dazerin.
Easy. You found me. I have to go in hiding now. No, but
sorry, man. Exposed.
Again, guys. DreamHack Leipzig. Ooh, I'm getting the hang of this. Yeah, January 26th through the 28th. I think there will be a Twitch channel announced soon. I don't know if there is an official one just yet, but
I think it's going to be on the same one that it was last time, DreamHack Rocket League, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Mm.
But since it is, like you said, on the... Oh, wait, I don't know if that's public knowledge. Never mind, I take that back.
Okay.
Ignore
Easy.
me! You know nothing!
Easy. So, that being said, guys, that's gonna basically that's basically gonna conclude the first episode of Discussions. The stream is not done for those watching, continue watching, but for everyone who's possibly watching a VOD, that's gonna be it with me and Achieves. Achieves, again, thank you so much for just coming on and talking to me. It's always a pleasure, my dude.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me.
Anytime, my guy. I love you. And then, wish you the best. Wish you the best of luck at Leipzig as well. I know you're gonna kill it out there, and it's gonna be great to watch as well. So, with that being said,
Rosters up next. Cloudfield, Jorby, Daz.
right, we're gonna bring in roster soon. If you guys are apparently watching VOD, thank you so much.